Oh, I would encourage people to stay. Bowing out tonight. Good for him.
Yeah.
Forgot.
His birthday is Monday.
Oh, yeah. My father-in-law.
Christmas Eve? Oh, man.
Tis, yeah, good reason to celebrate.
Don't put it over here and speak, and they can't ugly looks from like I from that one.
They let the crowd know we're not just. Oh, your Christmas day.
Christmas Day. Folks, we're waiting on one more board member to be here. He's on his way. Here he comes now, the star of the show, Mr. Leon Maben, Vice Chair. Everybody give him a big applause, round of applause. Good evening and welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Augusta Historic Preservation Commission. The Historic Preservation Commission hears and makes decisions on application for a certificate of appropriateness in accordance with the powers granted under Section 7, Chapter 4 of the Augusta, Georgia Code. In making a decision on a COA, the Commission may consider but shall not be bound by precedent. Each case shall be decided upon its merits, applying the Historic Preservation Ordinance and the applicable design guidelines. If a quorum is not present at a regular meeting of the Commission, a special meeting will be held within 14 calendar days from such scheduled meeting. Any person affected by the Commission's decision may file an appeal with the Augusta Commission. The meeting will be conducted in accordance with the Commission's bylaws, rules, and procedures, and the latest edition of Robert's Rules of Order, unless otherwise directed by the majority of the Commission in session at the time. The Commission encourages participation in this hearing, and there is no restriction on who may address the Commission within the allotted time. But Commission asks the public comments be brief, on subject, and directed to the Commission and not to individual group. I call the meeting to order, And at this time, I make a motion that we I don't make a motion. I ask that we dispense with the reading of the agenda. Do I hear any objections from the commission? Hearing none, we will suspend reading of the agenda. Next item is we'll approve the minutes from the meeting held on November 20th, 2025. Do I have any objections of adopting the minutes from that meeting? Hearing none, the minutes have been adopted. Okay, Todd, you can take on with the first COA.
Sir, I'll do that. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of staff. Todd Kennedy from Planning and Development here to talk about this case. The first case before you is COA-25-68. It's petitioned by Ms. Anne Marie McManus for a certificate of appropriateness, 2607 Bellevue, located within the Somerville District. This case and the next case are both heard by being presented by Ms. McManus. I see her in the audience, she and Mr. McManus tonight. This one, the first one though, it's here on the subject property. Here are the staff findings. The proposal is to change out windows on the exterior sides of the individual townhouse. Here's some more staff findings. And here's the property photos. All these windows in the front and around the back are going to be proposed to be changed. And it's going to be like-for-like material. Just some extra photos up and down looking up and down the street. And here's our submittal that was submitted to us. As you can see, it's going to be a wood-clad design. And then historic Augusta comments are as follows. The information is in your packets as well. I just thought I'd hold it up there for a few minutes or a minute. Staff recommendations. Staff recommends approval as the windows and siding. One thing I kind of mistyped in there, the siding is all going to be interior. So it's going to be an interior atrium, so it's not going to be exposed to the exterior of the building. But the windows being like-for-like material, and the new windows will improve the structural integrity of the home and increase the aesthetics of the home and neighboring overall while maintaining its historic significance in the area. That concludes my presentation, Mr. Chair. If you'd like me to, I can move on to the next case and Ms. McManus can present, or if you want to just hear them one at a time.
We'll hear them one at a time, okay?
All right, yes, sir.
Is the participant here in the audience? Would you please step forward and go to the left and speak into the microphone so we can hear you, state your name and address.
I'm Anne Marie McManus, and I currently live at 2642 Hillcrest Avenue. I own this property at 2607 and have renovated the interior, and we've discovered that, anyway, the windows are leaking into the house.
Do you have anything to add to the COA at all, or any comments you want to make about the situation?
No, they're the same windows that my neighbor if you're facing the house to the left, the same gentleman is putting them in, and it's top of the line, Anderson windows.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that has any comments concerning this certificate of appropriateness? Going once, going twice? All right. Fellow commissioners, do you have any questions of this applicant at this time about this application?
Got to turn it on. I'll make a motion we accept the staff recommendation and approve.
All right, have a second. Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Raise your hand. Unanimous. Okay.
Okay, next case by Ms. McManus. It's a petition for COA 2642 Hillcrest, located within the Somerville District. And once again, it's to replace windows on her existing house. There's her house right there from the front. Here's some staff findings. More staff findings. And then some more photos showing the front of the property or the scope of work, mostly all in the windows. Submittal, once again, it's going to be wood clad. And then the Historic Augusta provided comments. And staff recommends approval as the windows being replaced for like material. New windows and siding will improve the structural integrity of the home and increase the aesthetics of the home and the neighborhood overall while maintaining its historic significance in the area. That concludes my presentation, Mr. Chair, and the applicant's here to answer any questions.
Mr. McManus, do you have anything to add to this application?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to speak to reference to this application? Going once, going twice, hearing none. Commissioners, do you have any questions of Mrs. McManus concerning the window application?
I got one question. When you were looking at replacing these windows, did you investigate repairing the existing wood windows at all?
Yes. We bought the house 34 years ago, and I've tried to baby them ever since. And I would love to keep the hand-blown glass, and I talked to Eric Montgomery, and I said, is there anybody that can do this? And he referred me to somebody in Lexington, and I called them, and they said, well, we only do, and I'd done investigating before, but he said they just do commercial properties. And I've had everybody good in town look at it, and you know, the people I work with every day say, the problem was it was not vacant for 7 years, but it had tenants in it, and it just hadn't been painted for probably 20 years before we bought it. And they were shot then, and they're 35 years older.
And you couldn't find anyone that would reglaze them and repair them?
Oh, well, see, that's what we do. We keep
Right.
reglazing them, but if you look, well, there's extensive pictures, but there's a little gap like this, and every spring when we pressure wash, you know, the water, I've got to put towels in there, and, you know, I sit there in the morning and the wind's blowing through. It's
I know, I have a 200-year-old home, the same.
And it's okay if people take care of them, which that's what I preach all the time. But, I mean, I've done it the best I could do, and they just don't match. And, you know, I've talked to Vince, I've talked to everybody, all the good people, and they're.
I do think, however, it's worth the effort to keep them, because once you lose that glass, you lose a key feature of that house. It's not coming back.
I know.
And not only for you, but for any future generation that may be attracted to a house like that.
It kills me, and
They're
I've
not going to
had.
be perfect, but you can repair them and use like an interior storm window so that they are livable.
Well, maybe, you know, I have struggled over this, and we had a house fire, so the windows on one side are already this same type of window, and it was pretty close. And, you know, I mean, I talked to Vince, what's this? Oh, Vince Ardrey. I've talked to all the really good. Do you know anybody who's great? I feel like I've talked to them all.
It's been a while since I've done it. I've usually done my own. I can think of a couple
You know, the
names for you.
pictures.
Yeah.
See, my problem is, and maybe it's because the house is settled too, but there's also gaps in they're just, let's see. Here, let me show you these. Let me show you
But
these.
ProMark Preservation is one group that can do a good job with those. And I know what you're talking about. None of mine are even. None of them are perfect. That's part of an old house. No, they are in Augusta. ProMark. Mhm. Doug Law is the owner of that.
I'm asking that I could have it approved just because really, I don't take this
Yeah. I just think it's always a mistake to lose the original integrity if you can avoid it. And I think in this case, with some of the windows, you probably could.
The house was so bad when we got it. I mean, it was one of the worst. I was very young. We worked very hard at it, and we spent. Okay.
Can't have the conversation here.
Okay, let me show you the pictures, though. Let me show you the pictures.
We can show more here.
Ms. McManus, you want to?
On that side, this side? Okay.
There's a projector over here.
We'll
Okay.
put them on the slide.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Wow.
High tech, a little bit.
We're so fancy.
Yeah, so if you look, it's. Okay.
So I'm just not good with technology. Okay. So if you can see, the top window comes down below. They meet at the top, but it doesn't meet where the window, this is where the latch is. And, you know, I've had people look at rebuilding them, but then I've even looked at having, like I've done some interior cabinets where I had bought blown glass, but you couldn't use these panes, even if you like remade the window, you know, and then I'd be buying, anyway, it's certain things I've had to come to terms with because it's that intersection between the practical and the artistry. Mm-hmm. And I do love the artistry. Anyway.
I understand, and in replacing a window that is beyond repair, I have no problem with the materials that you're proposing using. I think it's a great choice. But in this case, to replace those historic windows that look to me from the pictures could be repaired and still used, and maybe need an interior storm window, but to me it's a shame to lose that element of the house.
Any further questions from the commission?
I don't have any further questions. Yeah, Wesley Scott helped me get them this good at that time, but.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Put your button.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the staff recommendation and give Ms. McManus the latitude of attempting to reglaze or in some other way repurpose these windows, and failing to do that, that she'd be allowed to put the like-for-like replacement windows in.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a properly motion, properly second. All in favor of adopting the motion, would you raise your right hand?
Okay, 5 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you, Ms. McManus.
Okay. Thanks for y'all's service.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, once again, Todd Kennedy. The next case before you, COA-25-70, a petition by Mr. Gregory Nelson for a COA, 1404 Highland Avenue, located within the Somerville District. This request to construct a new accessory building on the site. Here's the front of his, Mr. Nelson's house. Some staff findings here. His setbacks and zoning information was checked, and there doesn't appear to be any zoning issues with this proposal. One side of his property, and then there's the other side, and over here where the cursor is where the proposed accessory building is going to be, with this tree appearing to be sheltering it. then just a side view off the side street. Now over here, oops, this is where the proposed building is going to go, right here in this area where the cursor's moving on the interior side. And then there is the site plan. We have Highland over here. We have McDowell over here on this side. Here's the driveway, the existing pool. Here's the existing shed. Here are the setbacks being shown. And just some sketches. It's going to match the existing pool house, which is right over here in this area. And then there's a sample of this pool house that it's just going to match. Historic comments? Many of the questions I think have been answered, though, with going through the review. Will it be visible from the street? Not really. Maybe just maybe with the roof pitch, it would be, because the fence appears to be about roughly 6 foot high, and adjacent wall, so it'll be about 3 feet higher based on doing some rough measurements. And then, of course, I think it's going to be 120 square foot even. And after talking to the building department, sounds like a permit would be required. So after going through all this, staff recommends that the proposed new shed is compatible and will improve the existing parcel. Therefore, staff recommends commission approve this request. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, that concludes my presentation, and I do see Mr. Nelson in the audience with us tonight.
Is the applicant present? Yes. Step forward, please. State your name and address.
As the applicant walks up to the podium, this is the addendum item that was, I believe, emailed this morning. It was not, for some reason, it did not, was not submitted with the packet. So if you have it printed out, I don't know if we have a printout for it, but that is the reason why it's not included.
I have a copy of it.
Yes, sir.
Gregory Nelson, 1404 Highland Avenue.
Did he address the issues concerned from Historic Augusta with the information you received?
With all that information, I can go back to Augusta comments real quick. Okay, the historic Augusta comments are as follows. Guidelines for outbuilding covered in the Somerville Design Guidelines 65 and 66. Appears to be fabricated, and a number of questions come to mind. Does it require a building permit? 120 square foot, the answer is yes, it will. Will it match the accessory building on the north side of McDowell on the street side? I believe that's the pool house, if I'm not mistaken. The answer is yes, based on that picture. Will it be visible from the street behind that wall? As you can see from from that one picture. Let me see if I can go backwards. Leave this tree, and definitely Mr. Nelson, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but I think it would be visible right from here, because the wall itself is roughly about 6 foot high from what I can tell, but I believe this tree will be sheltering it, and that was one of the things that we were looking over internally.
The wall is 6 foot, and the tree is 16 foot. I try to keep it cropped around 13, 14 feet, but it just keeps sprouting up. The only place that I could see that you would see the building from is through the gate that is right next to it. You might be able to see like a back corner of it, but it's going to be painted the same color as my house and stuff like that, so I don't, I mean, you wouldn't really notice it.
No, the only way it would be visible basically if you removed the tree.
If I remove the tree, yes, sir, you would see it.
Okay, all right. Go ahead back to the questions again for the Historic Augusta. All right, when you say it's higher than the wall, the building is how tall? Excuse me.
To the top of the pitch of the roof, it'll be 9 foot.
8 foot?
9,
9 foot?
correct.
So we're looking at 3 feet above
3 feet
the
above
wall.
Yes, sir.
But that part would be behind the tree?
Behind the tree, yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
What is that building that's behind the wall that I see? Is that on your property?
Yes, that's an addition that was done in the 90s, I believe.
Okay. Well, why would we be concerned about whether we could see a shed or not if we can see the other structure over the wall? What's the difference?
The existing
It
house.
doesn't make any sense.
It appears to be attached to the house, though.
It is, yes, sir. It's an addition.
Right here. Yeah, this is the existing part of the house. Here's the new shed, and there's that addition right there. So it's all part of the.
And you see that part of the house from the street, so, yeah.
Do we have anybody in the neighborhood that, or neighbor would like to speak to this application? Going once, going twice, hearing none. Commissioners, any questions you'd like to ask the applicant this time, please direct them to the applicant, and so we have a response.
What were the staff recommendations? What were the staff recommendations?
Staff recommends approval as proposed.
I make a motion, we approve based on staff recommendations.
I have a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Next seal. Fat Todd.
Okay, next case you have before you is COA-25-72, a petition by Ms. Petra, Ms. Farkas for a COA at 1148 Montesano Avenue, located within the Somerville District. This request is to replace a roof on an existing residence with a new roof. There's her existing residence. Here's some staff findings. Some more findings. Now here's more photos, and I was trying to get as close up to the roof as I could without, trespassing on the property. But I do have some information that the applicant did present, just another picture showing the adjacent property. Okay, existing roof condition. It's a slate roof based on the information provided by the applicant, and it's kind of few and far between from what I understand, but it's slate, and it's supposed to be a historic slate, but it needs to be replaced because the information provided from the applicant is that the roof is leaking, especially with the recent storms we've been having, and especially with the cold weather. Oh, Helene, okay, yes, sir. And then area to be replaced, as you can see, we have an accessory building, and then we have all this here. That's where the roof is going to be. It's going to be an entire roof replacement is what the proposal is. Oh, yes, down in this area. Okay. Now, here's the submittal plans, and slate stone gray is the image. Okay. Okay. All right. Just some more areas of submittal. Now, historic Augusta comments are as follows. Roofs are character-defining features of the historic buildings, including the shape, pitch, and materials. The original tile roof on this property is an outstanding feature. According to the Somerville design guidelines, it ideally should be preserved and restored, or if that is not feasible, it should be replaced in kind with a new tile roof that matches an in-style pitch and materials. If the proposed architectural shingle replacement is approved, it should match as closely as possible in texture and color to emulate the original appearance. Now, that being said, and that with staff recommendation, staff recommends the commission approve the re-roofing as it will be an improvement to the existing structure, and the replacement architectural shingles be used to align well with the historic nature and character of the home and the neighborhood. That concludes my presentation tonight, but the applicants are present.
The applicant come forward, state your name and address.
Todd, for this one, was it now?
I'm not the homeowner. This is my mother, Petra Farkas. She is the homeowner.
I'm Petronella Farkas. I live in 1148 Montesano Avenue.
I got you. She's my mother, and so I've been. Can I speak for her?
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Just a couple of things about this.
Go ahead and identify yourself, please.
My name is Travis Epperson.
Okay.
Been married to her daughter for 20 plus years.
Give your address.
My address, 6201 Blackberry Hill, Peachtree Corners, Georgia,
Okay, got it.
30092. My mother has lived in this home since 1976. And you understand the information. I don't know if any of the commission members do live in Somerville. Do you? Okay. So you're probably familiar with this home. The Historic Preservation Commission was founded in 1994, roughly, 20 years after that she had purchased this home. And so anyone who has been around this area has seen that this home has been meticulously renovated and restored to its original 1916, level. When they purchased the home, it was divided into 3 different apartments. It had previously been a sorority house. It had previously been a lot of things. So there's been a lot of research that has been done by them through old photographs. And the interior of the home and the exterior of the home has been meticulously taken apart, stripped, and put back together. Any added partitions that were inside the home have been removed to restore it to its grandeur. The roof that we're applying for to replace is not a prominent feature of the home. I know that, there are photographs that have been presented here. If you're familiar with this area, there are a lot of tall oak trees that surround this home on Montesano and dogwoods that are on Bellevue. Also, this home has about a 2-foot recessed internal gutter system on the exterior of the home at the high level roof, which creates it's not as visible of a roof structure as you normally would see on a 12 and 12 pitch roof that's, let's say, 30 foot high, like on the photographs there. So we don't consider it as prominent a section of the home. The proposed replacement material is complementary of the architecture of the homes in the surrounding area. And given the replacement material, we are going with the highest level of architectural shingle that we could get, which is a 50-year warranted product. Let's see here. The proposed replacement material for us is a lot more forgiving than the existing slate material. We have been working with this slate material for many years to try and preserve it and try and protect it. With the recent storm of Helene and also storms previous of this, it's a very brittle product that is broken and chipped and pulled off, and we've climbed on that roof. We've built different contraptions to be able to safely climb on the roof to be able to patch it. And so us changing to the new material is going to be, actually it's going to provide us with a better building envelope, and it's also going to provide us with a easier material to maintain with the 50-year asphalt architectural shingle. One important thing to note here is that we are not able to find slate that was made in 1916. We have tried to do that for many, many years as we've had to patch and replace parts. We are out of all of the material that we had available that was left over that we could find. We can replace this roof with slate shingles. That is a premium of $57,000 from the 50-year architectural shingle product. I just want to note that so that you're understanding of that. My mother's 92 years old, and she has spent the past, from 76 till now, doing nothing but, making this home as historic as it could be, which is one of the reasons for this commission in the first place. And so we just would, ask for your approval to be able to go to the easier to maintain, but also keeping in, the stylings and look and appearance that it is now with the new product. Do you have any questions?
Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak to this application? Going once, going twice. All right, commissioners, do you have any questions of the applicant at this time?
Before you, can we express that, this is Kevin, this is a recommendation for denial from staff. The original slate is being replaced with a more contemporary architectural shingle, and we could appreciate the improvements that have been made to the home, but this would not be complementary to what is currently on the roof.
So can I address can you provide reasonings for denial?
This roof, unlike what you mentioned, is a character-defining feature of the home, and by putting a contemporary architectural shingle is a depreciation of the material currently in place for this property.
Okay, define depreciation. Depreciation in maintainability, or depreciation in value, or depreciation in something else?
Commission provide additional insight based on what they feel is appropriate.
Commissioners, we have.
I wondered if you'd investigated any synthetic slate. I understand.
Yes, we have. It's a $50,000 premium in lieu of a $57,000.
That's what you're referring to instead of actual slate?
Yeah, we've had multiple roofing firms work on providing proposals with us using multiple materials. The natural slate product is a $57,000 premium from what we have for a 50-year architectural shingle product. The synthetic slate material is a $50,000 premium. So that's just, that's a difference. And, as we weighed this and looked through to say, okay, we want things that match. I mean, she spent a large portion of her life. I mean, Peyton Manning stayed in this house for the Masters. I mean, it's a big deal. And so, the maintainability and the maintenance and also providing a better building envelope was kind of one of the decision makers for us to propose this.
Since this was hurricane damage, did you file a claim with the insurance company?
Yes, and that's one of the major things here is that we are unable to get, if you want to address the insurance piece, the homeowner's insurance policies, we are not able to get with the roof that's on it.
Does not include the roof. Okay, that has been a problem, that the insurance do not want to insure a house with a slate roof that is 106 years old.
So
the bottom line for me is this, that I'm 92 years old. I lived in this house for almost 50 years, worked very hard on it. And to spend now at my age, take up a loan of $50,000 to put a slate roof on it is preposterous. Every house on my street, there's not one house that has a slate roof on it. They all have what you call the regular shingles or metal roofs.
We're keeping our metal roof.
And, it's just not visible for me to put a slate roof on it. And I think that whoever is going to buy the house will be happy to know that the roof is not leaking, because every time it rains now, the rafters are getting wet and I'm having water in the attic and it damages the house.
That has been restored.
And it's, I have tried to deal with the insurance company and they are not giving, I have to sue them.
Yeah, and I just want to address on the storm damage. Y'all were all here through Helene. I can't even imagine the amount of work that y'all had to do about roof replacements, because, the majority of the roofs in this area were gone. We did not start to work on getting the replacement and the repair work of this roof during all of the disaster recovery time. We waited until, I guess it would have been, in the fall when we started, because quite frankly, we felt that we needed to have some competition in the roofing contractor world. And so we have been working without our ridge caps and emptying buckets upstairs. because we didn't want to lose the work that had been meticulously done to restore the interior of this house to its 1916 grandeur. So that's why it's taken this long for us to come here, is because we were like, hey, there's people that can see the sky from their living room. We're okay. And so that's why we're now addressing our Helene damage.
Commissioners, you have further questions? All right, commissioners are hearing none. Do we have a motion? Gentlemen, I can't make one.
If we were to postpone this, would you be willing to get estimates for a synthetic slate in writing versus the architectural shingles?
Would we be willing to? We can provide you with them. I mean,
I didn't see them in the
it's not your
packet.
money.
I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
I didn't see them in the packet, however.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we weren't proposing to use synthetic. I'm sorry if I left it out of the packet.
Right. That is something we have approved before in the situation where a slate roof could not be repaired or it was cost prohibitive to repair. But the synthetic slate, in my experience, is not outrageous like slate would be.
It's $7,000 less outrageous, yes.
But still, I would like to have seen written estimates instead of just figures, orally thrown out.
Okay, well, we're requesting to be able to replace it with the 50-year architectural shingle product. I mean, I hope that we get approved based on what we've been discussing here. But if we have to reapply, we may have to reapply in a different manner.
Commissioners, you have any further questions?
I don't understand what's going on here now.
He asked if we would be willing
I'll
to
make a motion.
postpone this and provide him information on the synthetic slate. But
I'm 92 years old. How long do you want me to wait? I mean, honestly,
I know
how
it's an
long do you want me to
inconvenience.
wait? I lived in this house for 48 years.
Understood.
worked
I don't
very
think we're
hard
not
on it
talking,
and
we're
still do.
talking one more month. We would not deny you. We would postpone you. You'd have a month to get some written estimates on synthetic slate and come
Postpone
back.
For what?
postpone for you to spend $50,000.
Because in the past, we have not approved architectural shingles over slate when there can be a viable alternative. And if you prove that it can't be, so be it. But I'd like to see it.
Right. Well, this is our application, is a 50-year warranted architectural shingle product that matches the look and stylings of the current slate shingles. If we are denied this application, then we will have to make a decision to reapply.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir. What?
Right. This is a synthetic slate product.
So what is that now about?
I think we're,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. Y'all are not going to like this, but we have guidelines that cover the Somerville district, and we need to follow them.
can I address the guidelines?
No, I have the floor now.
I'm sorry.
The staff has recommended denial and stated the reason for that. And I would make a motion that we adopt the staff recommendation with the caveat that they can appeal our denial to the city commission and see if they would approve a different kind of roof, or that you can come back in 30 days at our next meeting with the synthetic slate or other acceptable option for us to take a look at.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have who's second? Leon? Okay. I have a motion, and I have it seconded. All in favor, raise your hand of the denial.
Unanimous vote.
So you have a choice.
Sir?
I understand that you've voted, and that vote has been counted. We can have blue tarp, which is the only choice we have that you can look at. How historic is that? Or you can have a 50-year architectural shingle product. That's what we're gonna do. So I don't know what else to do.
That's what you have to do, sir. I'm sorry.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Todd, next application.
Okay. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, the next case before you.
Todd, go ahead.
All right. Mr. Chair, this case before you, 25-73, is actually related to 2565 in the old business. Did you want me to, or do you want to go ahead and move that item up to this one, or do you want to just keep them separate?
Keep it separate.
Okay, yes, sir. Okay, petition by Jacob Keaty for a COA at 1218 Winter Street, located in the Somerville Historic District. The request to construct a deck in an existing residence. Okay, here's the subject property. Just some staff findings. We have these pieces of information here. Okay, the staff findings again. Okay, some property photos. As you can see, here's the rear deck on the back side. Okay, another picture showing the rear deck. And then there is a side view on the interior side where they're showing the deck. Now here's the submittal plan. We have Winter Street over here, Queensway over here, and then we have the deck going on this side and around over here on this. Submittal, once again, some more pictures that were submitted. And some more pictures showing the deck going on the back side. More pictures. Now, Historic Augusta comments. This new deck addition most closely relates to the section of porches found in the Somerville Design Guidelines. Page 71, wraparound deck has already been constructed. Wire fencing as an alternate to balusters is not a treatment that can be found in the guidelines. There is no precedent for it in the Somerville Historic District and is probably not appropriate. Is there enough space between it and adjoining property line to meet code? There are no handrails for the west steps. Will they be added? Now, one quick thing, I'd like to just go ahead and try and take a shot at those questions. Based on discussion with the applicant and kind of going through the plans, this case was heard by the BZA. It had required a variance from a 7-foot setback to a 3-foot setback, I believe. 4-foot setback, excuse me. And so is there enough space to meet code? There appears to be so after it went through the BZA process and between the property lines, and then handrails are proposed to be installed. However, I do have the applicant here with me tonight. Mr. Keaty's in the audience tonight, who can provide more information. Now, staff recommends the chosen materials for the deck are of high quality and complementary, and their staff recommends approval of the deck as proposed.
Applicant at present, would you please step forward, state your name and address?
Good evening. My name is Jacob Keaty. My address is 1218 Winter Street. Good to see you guys again.
Do you have anything to add to the information you've submitted and resubmitted?
Yes, sir. Can I hand it out?
Sir?
Can I hand it out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Put the picture on the slate or whatever, projector.
So I started this project a year ago from Helene. I've been working diligently on trying to restore a home that was abandoned and going to pieces. I redid the deck that was previously on it, and this one actually went from a 0 setback to a 4-foot setback, and now matches my neighbor's deck, which is what you see there. I tried to match it to the neighborhood to keep unison and preserve the integrity and history of what is going on. That's all I have to add about the deck. I will welcome any questions.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to this issue for the applicant? Going once? Anyone need to speak? I'm happy to speak. All right. Step forward, state your name and address.
Dave, if I could quickly interject while the citizens walking up, our PowerPoint was put together earlier, so our condition is slightly different. If you don't mind, if I could read that into the record, or at your disclosure.
Let him go ahead.
Okay, sure.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Watts. I live at 1211 Millage Road. My house backs up to Jake's property. I just wanted to be noted that Jake has done an immense job at adding value to my property and the surrounding properties in that area. Just to be clear, the house looked like a crack house before. It was in horrible shape. He may not have asked for permission, but the gentleman he's a great asset to our community. And I think that the deck looks fine. The deck is meeting all the qualifications. It actually matches the neighbor to the right, which I can see both from my backyard. And I just want to say that he's a stand-up guy, and I think it's Christmas, and it's nice for everyone to be nice. And understand that there are a lot of people that do things he didn't know that maybe he needed to get approval. But he's a young gentleman that's trying to do good in our community, much better than a lot of other people his age. And I think he's got a huge force of people here. They're all neighbors. We all love him. We all support him. And we want him to be a great neighbor. And there are a lot of other properties next door, the other side, that really could use some eyes from you guys. And so I don't know if we have to do I need to tattletale on these folks? But when you have someone like this who's actually adding value to the properties around us, I think it should be commended. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ray, would you count the number of hands, people that are here present supporting this for the record? Not 2 hands, 1 hand.
That's what we're here.
14, thank you.
I count 16.
Well,
you missed the 2 over there.
So no other comment in the audience. Commissioners, do you have questions about this application? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If you may, okay. The staff's recommendation is that the chosen materials for the deck are of high quality, complementary with the Sunville Historic Guidelines. However, the wire fencing on the deck is not identified in the design guidelines. Furthermore, the additional building requirements may require for the completion of the project. Staff therefore recommends conditional approval of the deck. The conditions are as follows. That number 1, the wire railing on the deck shall be replaced with a railing that follows the design guidelines. And 2, all applicable requirements from planning, building, and applicable departments shall be met as part of the permit requirements. And that concludes staff's recommendation.
Thank you, Kevin. All right. Mr. Shea.
Yep. So has it been determined that he is going to have to submit the drawings for this and pull a permit for this deck? even though it was a repair or partial repair or what we've been told?
Yeah, a permit is required for this type of installation, and it was never applied for. And so we have had an internal discussion, planning, code enforcement in the building department. So Mr. Keaty is aware of the steps moving forward. So there's a process that he will be following to achieve those requirements.
All right. I got a question. Kevin, as of right now, there's no precedent under the guidelines for this type fence, for the railings. Is that correct?
Right, that's correct.
For the wire fence. Okay.
That's correct.
Who okayed the house next door? Have you seen that picture?
No, I'm
Has
not
the
familiar.
exact same, that's on the screen, it has the exact same fence or paneling, metal paneling on their deck. So if we don't have a precedence for it, then
What you tend to find.
yeah,
with
do we
these-
have, wait a minute, let me ask one more thing. Do we have that neighbor?
I'm not aware of it, but
She's,
okay. What I will say is these type of installations have the tendency of being put in place or installed without city approval. And so that may have been the case where the property owner or the occupant installed it without requesting any permit, without going through the city process. So we would not have been aware or it wouldn't be on our radar to evaluate.
okay, is it for a safety guideline? Is that why we're not going to approve it? Or is it just for the look of it?
We're mostly fine with what is been installed, but we have some reservation for the actual wiring, railing details. That's our biggest pause.
Okay, so as of right now, he really didn't, once he goes for the permit, that what he's got on there right now can be okayed?
Assuming what decision comes from this body, he will have to apply for the permit. There will be an inspection to determine the structural integrity, and if everything checks off, then he's good.
He'll be fine. Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep. Does anybody else? I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah.
So I make a motion, we approve. I would like to remove staff recommendation number 1 and take staff recommendation number 2 for approval.
State the motion. State the motion.
Yeah. I make a motion, we approve based on staff recommendations number 2. We're going to accept the existing wire railing or on the deck as is. And we're going to accept number 2 that for the applicable requirements for planning, building, and the building code for pulling a permit. So.
Properly motion. Do we have a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Have a second? I have a second. All right, all in favor, raise your hand.
Okay, unanimous vote.
Okay. The next.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, next case before you, COA-2574. It's a petition by Ms. O'Mara, Geraldine O'Mara for a COA at 2344 McDowell Street, located in the Somerville District. This request to construct a new garage and pave an existing driveway. Let me just strike that concrete. It's actually going to be crushed material, and you'll be seeing that in just a few minutes. Here's our subject property. We have staff findings here. More staff findings. There's the existing driveway that's actually proposed to be changed out to more of a crushed rock or crushed gravel material. I should have that further in the pictures later on. There's some vegetation that's going to be planted along the side. And there's looking out towards the front. Property photos where the proposed garage is going to be. And then here is the site. And then here is the, let's see. Okay, will do. Okay, here's our driveway right here coming in from the front. Proposed garage right in here. And then here's another site plan as well. We have McDowell coming in. We have our driveway. Here's our garage. And then this is a sample of the material. And also the material, the crush is going to be bordered with a pavement. And then here's our proposed garage. Proposed submittal plans are showing the garage door. And then the historic comments are as follows from Historic Augusta. The new garage siding, design, and materials appear to meet the Somerville design guidelines. If a horizontal hardy board siding is approved, we recommend that it have a deeper profile at 5/8 to 3/4 inch thickness rather than a thinner profile. The width should match the siding of the main house if possible. The dual ribbon concrete drive is appropriate, emulates the original existing driveway. Now, staff recommends approval, but I just want to clarify this for the record here. The staff recommendation is as follows. The proposed new garage and driveway rehabilitation is compatible and will improve the existing parcel. Therefore, staff recommends commission conditionally approve the request as presented with the following conditions, 1 through 3. The driveway shall be designed with crushed granite material and brick edging and have dual drive ribbon design. The number 2, the garage shall be designed as presented. And number 3, if the siding is approved as horizontal hardy board, it is recommended that it have a deeper profile, 5/8 to 3/4 inch thickness rather than a thinner profile. The width should match the siding of the main house. That concludes my presentation. And if Ms. O'Mara, yep, there she is. She is in the audience tonight.
The applicant, please come step forward, state your name and address.
Geraldine O'Mara, 2344 McDowell. I did want to clarify that we do want to have, as far as the rehab of the driveway, we have a drainage issue, so we want to take out the concrete ribbons. We want to replace the driveway with a brick apron on McDowell, brick lining and crushed granite, because we feel this would help with the percolation of rainwater so it doesn't run to the back of our property where the garage will be. The second thing I wanted to address is the profile of the hardy siding. Our current house has the lower profile 3/4 inch, and that's because we were unable to get the thicker profile when we renovated the house in 2020 during COVID. So they weren't making it. We would prefer to have the lower profile on our garage so that it does indeed match our house. That concludes what I wanted to say.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone in the audience like to speak to this application? Going once, going twice. Commissioners, we have questions of the applicant at this time. Any comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. Make a motion, we accept the staff recommendation with the caveat that the hardy siding is consistent with the hardy siding profile that's on the house.
Thank you.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, raise your hand.
Okay, unanimous vote, and so did you?
In the applicant's presentation, she did note the amendment to the driveway plan to a brick paver with an apron at the front and trim on the side with a crushed granite
Correct.
instead of the ribbon. Is that what you're approving? You're approving her?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, unanimous vote.
Next application.
Okay, next case before you, and this is the last item in the new business section of the agenda. 25-75, it's a petition by Robertson Restoration on behalf of Mr. Bruce Campbell for a COA at 1203 Highland, located in the Somerville District, replace windows for an existing residence. Here's our subject property. We have a list of findings here. We have our photos of the property. Pretty much all the windows on the side of the house are going to be replaced. I see the applicant in the audience tonight. Oh, there he is. Yep. Who will be able to talk more about this. More photos. I wanted to include all this because the applicant did submit individual photos with descriptions of each one of the windows that will be replaced with aluminum clad wood, I believe. I'll just run through them real quick. And then our historic comments from the Historic Augusta. According to the Somerville Design Guidelines, it is always preferred to retain and repair historic windows in a historic district. Windows are a character-defining feature of the historic homes, including materials, size, framing, muntin pattern, and functionality. If the replacement windows are allowed in place of the original windows, they should match the existing window style as closely as possible. In dimensions, style, muntin pattern, muntin sash width, and double hung sash design. For non-historic windows that are being replaced, the new design shall be comparable to original windows of the house, particularly ones found on the same elevation. If the front door and family room doors are approved for being replaced, the new doors shall be craftsman style to match the character of the house. Give me just a second, Mr. Chair. Staff recommends approval of the windows being replaced with like-for-like materials, and the new windows will improve the structural integrity of the home and increase the aesthetics of the home and the neighborhood overall while maintaining its historic significance in the area. That concludes my presentation, and I see the applicant, Mr. Hurd Robertson, in the audience tonight.
Would the applicant please step forward? And
Good evening. Hurd Robertson, 960 Hickman Road, Augusta. With Robertson Restoration on behalf of Mr. Bruce Campbell. Mr. Bruce Campbell lives out of state and is renovating this house for his daughter and son-in-law and their family who are moving here in the spring, who also live out of state. So you just get me for the application today. We have an open permit on this property for interior renovations. Over the course of the project, they've added some exterior modifications that they have requested, which we have not proceeded with any of those prior to putting them together and applying to the commission, and we'll go back and amend our building permit to include these changes. If they're so approved, the changes are requesting to remove all non-historic storm windows. I don't think that should be a problem. In the kitchen, when we demolished the interior, we realized that the windows that were there were recent replacements, or say 20, 30 years ago replacements, and they don't properly fill the openings. So they want to, when they replace those windows, they want to do it with windows that properly fill the stucco openings in the outside and should go back to the way it would have looked originally. They requested that we modify one exterior door to make it a window, and that window would match the other windows on the house. They requested that we modify the front door, which is a full all-glass door, to one that has less glass for security reasons. Historic Augusta recommended that we used a Craftsman-style door on that, which we're good with and planning on doing. There is an addition on the back. I don't know if it's an addition or not. Maybe it's a sleeping porch. It has some jalousie windows in it that are non-historic. We're requesting to remove all 4 of them. 2 of them will be replaced with double hung windows. The other will be stuccoed over because they're causing a roof leak situation. And then they're requesting replacing the rest of the windows, sashes only, with a Geldwin Arlast aluminum clad wood product. We've used these windows in the historic district a whole bunch of times. They've been approved here a bunch of times before. And that concludes all the things they have asked for.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to address this issue or this application? All right. Going once, going twice, hearing none. Commissioners, you have questions of the applicant?
I have one question. Are you going to keep the window air conditioning units?
Yes, sir, they're going away.
Did you investigate repair?
Yes, sir, we've investigated repair, and we're competent in that. While a number of these windows are probably in decent shape, they're requesting that we replace them all with insulated glass for weatherproofing reasons. There are a lot of the frames that are out of square, so that when the we've heard this before tonight. When the sashes are all the way closed, the meeting rail doesn't meet in the middle, so the wind goes through there, and so we're going to replace them in the least invasive way possible, which is just to replace the sashes and not the exterior or interior wood trim. And the light patterns will be the same as they are, and this particular product we've used has got an aluminum clad exterior that looks very much like a putty glaze exterior, and the mullions on the inside look very much like a historic mullion. So
I got one more question. Did you measure the muttons? I noticed on the order form it said 7/8, and I was just looking at pictures and they looked smaller. I was just curious.
Happy to check on that. Usually that's the window that most accurately replaces existing muttons, but I'm happy to check on that and make sure we're ordering the product that looks closest to what's there now.
Understand replacing the jalousie windows for sure, and some of the windows on the back, they look like they're not original to the house. However, the original windows, it looks like they could be repaired, like they're in fair to good condition, and your firm is capable of doing those type of repairs, right?
Yes, sir, that's true. I mean, there's not much we can do about the window openings that are out of square.
Right.
That are causing without totally rebuilding the windows, which, we're doing a medium intervention here.
Right.
Which I think is a reasonable, in this case, I think is a reasonable approach.
Leon, you have a question?
No. Everything's been asked, and I was going to ask it.
All right, gentlemen, do we have any further questions? No further questions. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion of approval with historic, as long as he abide with historic Augusta recommendations. Is that possible, Mr. Roberts? Do you have a problem with that?
This would need a little more specificity on there because character defining feature windows are being replaced, design be compared. Being replaced, the design shall be comparable to original windows to the house, particularly ones found on the same elevation. I don't see anything. If you're saying you'll give me approval to replace the windows in accordance with the way Historic Augusta recommended replacing them, I don't see there's a problem with that.
Okay, that's my motion.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any further discussion? All right. Hearing none, all in favor, raise your hand.
5 in favor, 1 opposed. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Okay, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, next case before you, we're moving into the old business. This case is 25-63. It's a petition by Mr. McClellan on behalf of Mr. Daniel Magana. Okay, for a COA 551 Green Street, right across the street from the office here, located within the downtown historic district. The request to install a new addition onto an existing building. This petition was postponed from last month's meeting. It is here before you tonight. Here's our subject property. As you can see with this design, appears to be a Second Empire home design based on looking at the architectural features. Staff findings, we have some staff findings here. More property photos. Here is our addition right here in the back. It's this little small addition. As you can see, it's visible from the public right away. Now here's a picture of the venue from the other side. Here's looking down this the side yard right here between the adjacent church and the subject building. Now here's more of a close-up when I was out there last week inspecting the site with the applicant. Closer up, the building construction started, I believe, without permits, but they're before you tonight with the COA request. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, you might be able to see this, it's kind of faint, but there is a string that was put in, I believe, by a surveyor from what the applicant was telling me. Here's out towards the front on Green Street, or right here on the main street going in Green Street, and then looking the other direction on the other side of the fence on the church's property, or on the church's side of the fence going back. You see where my cursor's moving here. Now here is the submittal plan that was submitted last month in the packet. As you can see, it's quite a bit larger than what is depicted on the site. Here is a submittal plan, but I have some changes here that are coming up. Now, the historic Augusta comments are as follows. The applicant proposes to erect a freestanding restroom facility, but no floor plan or elevations are provided. The site plan that was provided makes it appear that it is planned to be erected on the adjacent church lot and attached to the church building. Has this site plan and structure been approved by planning and zoning? And does it also meet code requirements? We don't have enough information to fully evaluate this application and suggest a postponement until further details can be provided. We did just that last month. And staff recommends, or recommended back on the 20th of November last month, and it was granted to be postponed, and those 3 items to be submitted. An elevation that reflects the proposed and meets all zoning setbacks and building codes. Number 2, a scaled and dimensional site plan. And number 3, a full and detailed scope of work that shows existing conditions and proposed conditions. As of this morning, that material, or most of it, or appeared to be, was submitted. Here is the submittal. As you can see, it's kind of scaled down a little bit right here with this brick design. And then here is a proposal right here that was submitted by the applicant. And then here is the submittal from Green Street, Monument Street over here. Here's our venue in the back. The adjacent church is right over here on this side. And then here is the addition, roughly about 3.5 feet wide right here, a little almost just under that, and then a 7-foot setback between the 2 properties. One thing I need to point out about the zoning code in the B2 zoning, the side yard setback either needs to be a 3-foot setback or a 0-foot setback. Either one, can't be arranged in between. Mr. Chair, that concludes my presentation tonight. One thing I forgot to include in the packet here. Okay, before this information was submitted, and, this information was submitted, and, we drafted up, due to the additional findings on site and the construction of an addition without permit issuance, staff recommends denial of this proposal as presented. The applicant shall return to HPC with a detailed description and the proposals and have property lines accurately marked and adjacent property owners be consulted with. That is tonight's recommendation by staff, and the applicant is here in the audience if you, with any questions.
Would the applicant please step forward and state his name and address?
It's Daniel Magana, 551 Green Street.
Mr. Gunny, do you have anything to add to this presentation, and especially with the last statement from planning and zoning?
So it's an event center, and we're just trying to add some urinals out there just to add another amenity for the clients, for the customers.
So, in other words, the issue about getting the permits and things, not doing that, and about the setbacks,
Right, well,
did you address any of that with planning, and which, are you acceptable to taking care of that, or?
Yes, sir, we already did, I apologize, yes. We already, the marquee sent you all the information? Is that, maybe I'm not understanding the question.
What you're seeing right there in front of you there, Danny, is the information that was given to me this morning, as I stated in the presentation. Because the staff report was drafted, last week, and then earlier this week when it went out, and just this morning is when I received this information here. So anyway, now it's definitely need to just go and explain it.
Hi, my name is Anisha Taylor. I manage the Bella House, and I just want to make sure we understand that you all need more information or detailed information about how we're going to proceed forward with the design before you approve it. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. And the questions that are before us is the boundaries, and as I said, it's either the 0 or the setback or the offset setback from the property line has to be either 0 or
3 feet.
What's stated, and it's not there. We can't have an intermittent situation. Next thing is the property boundaries. Are they accurate with your neighbor? And from what we're seeing from what I've seen from the picture, it is not. And I would suggest, my feeling is that you either withdraw or ask this to be postponed until we address those issues before we go any further. Because if we deny it, you're done for a while.
Not a problem. Yes, sir.
So that's up to you.
Yeah, we can postpone it and go back to the drawing board
and come back with addressing the issues that have been brought forward from the planning office.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
If I could add one note to it, just to provide some clarity to what has just been discussed. We have a plan that's on the screen right now. This is provided to us yesterday. It is an improvement to the plan last month, but again, this is not a scaled plan. It doesn't have a dimension. You can't scale it, and we don't know how exact it is. And so when you have a structure that's being constructed, and you've done wonderful work to the property and great improvements, but we don't know how to fully assess.
So Kevin, bottom line, we still don't have the information we need to approve this.
Yeah, we
so
need
therefore we need to either postpone it or he need to withdraw and come back, but one or the other. Mm-hmm. So
a dimension and scale site plan from a surveyor or someone that could provide that, a professional.
So petitioner, you're asking to withdraw. You're not going to withdraw. You're just going to ask us to postpone this application and come back
Yeah.
in 30 days.
Yes, sir.
All
And
right.
then we can get back to the drawing board and
All right.
request all this stuff. So
Do I hear any-
I have invested a lot of money on that house. I just want you to know that, trust me, it's.
I understand.
So we appreciate you. We're trying to, we bring a lot of weddings and money to the.
And I would encourage you to get this information in a timely manner.
Yes, sir.
So we can have it in front of us prior to the meeting
Yes, sir.
and become familiar with it, be helpful to us.
Not a problem.
And you may want to work, keep in touch with the staff because they can tell you what you don't have and what you do need. That way you don't do any unnecessary work, but you'll have it done in a timely manner for next time.
Sounds great.
All right. Do I have any objections for this being postponed from the commission? Hearing none, it is postponed.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, Todd, next.
Okay. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this case relates to the previous one, number 7325-65. It's petitioned by Jacob Keady. Once again, him and his neighbors are in the audience. 1218 Winter Street, located within the Somerville district. And this proposal is to reconstruct retaining walls, replace windows, and install a new brick sidewalk along the existing residence. This item was actually deferred from the previous meeting back on November 20th. Okay, here's our subject property. We have staff findings right here. It kind of carries over, but I'm going to get to more of the specifics here in just a second. Here's our submittal. And as you can see, this was looked at last month with the retaining walls, property photos. Just going to move quick through this. The retaining walls and the landscaping were already approved last month, and then the motion was made to defer this for the window information to be submitted. That's going to be further in the presentation. Okay. The application seeks a post-construction approval for replacing windows and installing new hardscape in the front yard. No window specs are given and no information about the original windows that were replaced. It is unclear if the roofing, but actually, let me just go ahead. I'm going to move forward with this. Let me go ahead and I'm going to read off Historic Augusta commentary again. The applicant seeks approval for the replacement of windows that have already been installed. The Mutton design that has already been installed appears to match the 4x1 pattern that previously existed. Although photo documentation was not provided in the application, Google Maps shows the 4x1 pattern that was on most of the previous windows. The window specs provided call for a composite window framing. The specific composition of the composite is not specified and should be determined before approval. That being said, the staff recommends denial of the windows that are installed and the new walkway that was proposed. And let me, don't think those pictures were included. Let's see, it should be in the staff report. There was a new walkway to the front that's been installed, which is an improvement, and therefore staff recommends approval of the walkway as shown and installed. However, I did speak with Mr. Keady earlier this afternoon. He did have some additional information about the windows and the composite. He would like to address that before you tonight. So that being said, Mr. Keady, thank you.
Applicant, please step forward, state your name and address for this COA.
Hello again, Jacob Keady, 1218 Winter Street. So in your staff report, it shows new vinyl. After doing some digging, thanks to you guys, and I got a hold of Manor, the window company I bought them from. They are a wood composite. I think in the thing it just says composite, and after speaking with Todd, he wanted me to dig deeper into that. And so after calling them up, and I asked specifically, I need to know the material to submit, as you, Mr. Vick, asked. They are a wood composite. So I think you guys do all have the detailed document that you requested last month.
Is that everything you have to say? All right.
Yes, sir. I do want to say I'm really sorry I didn't come to you guys earlier. I'm trying to do good here. I am learning a lot every day doing this and have really appreciated your guys' guidance so far on this journey.
Any people, anyone in the audience would like to speak to this application? Going once, going twice, hearing none. All right, commissioners, if you have any questions, please. Mr. Vick?
I don't have any questions. I think he's apologized enough. He's learned a lot, as he said. The mutton pattern is as close as possible for what Google Images and what we have now. Based on his neighbors and the acceptance that they've given him, I make a motion that we approve the installed windows. And the walkway. Was the walkway installed too?
Yeah, the walkway, they cracked it when they were putting in the retaining wall, and so my landscaper they redid it was cement, they just re-poured a new cement pad, it was correct.
And the walkway.
Gentlemen, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All right, gentlemen, all in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Merry Christmas.
Todd, let's go on to the next one.
Now, the last one before you this is actually a request for an extension. The applicant approached me, they contacted me, COA-24-43. It's a petition by Mr. Nicholas Dickinson on behalf of Caroline Morris for a COA 2120 Gardner Street, located within the Somerville District. The request to expand the bedroom and bathroom on the first floor while removing an existing deck. Subject property, just some previous pictures. I didn't include a lot of information in this. It was just, wanted to just go ahead and just recommend approval of the extension, but definitely have the applicants describe more. Picture of the gate. Here's a picture of the house. Here's a picture of the deck. I believe that's going to be removed. And then here's the site plan, just the original site plan from last year when it was submitted. And then here's the picture of the elevations. Here's the picture of the expansion right here. I believe that's the area where it's a different color on this side and on this side of the elevation. Once again, the plans. Here's our addition over here. Staff findings, nothing's changed since then. And then Historic Augusta provided comments at the time. The proposed addition and the removal of an existing deck is keeping with the Somerville design guidelines. The scale and materials are appropriate, and all will be in the rear of the house, not visible from the public right-of-way. COA has already been approved, and no changes are proposed by the applicant that have been brought to staff's attention. This is a request for an extension, and it's reasonable. Staff therefore recommends a commission grant approval of this request for an extension with a time frame that is reasonable for both HPC and the applicant. That concludes my presentation, Mr. Chair.
Applicant present. Please step forward, state your name and address.
Barry Smith, 30 3720 Crest Drive, Hepsburg.
Do you have anything to add to this presentation at the time?
We just lost track of time, had to replace the roof on it. Hurricane got us behind and just didn't get the building permit put in time. The building permit's already been applied for. It is awaiting the COA approval.
All right. Anyone in the audience want this issue or application? Going once, going twice? Hearing none. Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments concerning this application?
Is our typical timeline of 6 months, that's correct? Is that going to be acceptable? I mean,
Expect to be down there picking the permit up as soon as I get the letter.
All right, I have a second. I have a second. All in favor, raise your hand.
Passed by unanimous vote.
Let's get on to the good stuff. Okay. Todd, item A, discussion of formal consultant process of public projects within historic district. Is that our next item?
Yes, sir. It's on items for discussion, item A right there. And just have it pulled up on the agenda. I included a couple of some documentation that I received from Commissioner Young on this item. So Commissioner Young, did you want me to turn it over to you?
Yeah, let me explain that this is actually two items that got folded into one. And so I'd like us to consider these as two separate items, and I'd like to take up the McDowell Street resolution first. All right.
Are they on the screen? Can you put them on the screen, his motions?
Oh, yeah.
Put them up.
We'll do the resolution first.
Yeah, the resolution first.
While he's looking that up, let me go ahead in the interest of time to keep the meeting moving. There's been a lot of discussion about some work that's going to be done on Montesano Avenue, which runs through the Somerville Historic District. And we've gotten some documentation that goes back to January of 2021, which laid out some options for a number of traffic circles on Montesano Avenue. Montesano Avenue is in the historic district. There are traffic lights and four-way stops on Montesano Avenue. Traditionally, there is no traffic circle in the Somerville Neighborhood Association, and it's my feeling and the feeling of others who live in Somerville Neighborhood Association that the imposition of a traffic circle at the intersection of McDowell and Montesano is contrary to the historic traffic patterns that are in the Somerville district. And although the City Commission is not required to consult with the HPC on matters of infrastructure and public projects, I feel it's appropriate that at least we be heard by them. And my suggestion is that we recommend to the Commission that that's the wrong one. Put up the resolution. It's the next one. That we recommend to the City Commission that they abandon the traffic circle at the project for the traffic circle at McDowell and Montesano. And there's I'll read that if you want me to read it. I can read it.
Mr. Young, would you go ahead and read, please?
Whereas the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage of Augusta, Richland County is among its most valued and important assets, and the preservation of this heritage is essential to the promotion of the health, prosperity, and general welfare of our citizens. And whereas the Historic Preservation Commission was established to aid in stimulating revitalization in the business districts and historic neighborhoods of Augusta, Richland County. And whereas the Historic Preservation Commission is to provide for the designation, protection, preservation, and rehabilitation of historic properties and historic districts in the city of Augusta to include the Somerville Historic District. And whereas the city of Augusta has expressed its intent to construct a traffic circle at the intersection of McDowell Street and Montesano Avenue in the Somerville Historic District. And whereas the city is not required by law to consult with HPC with regard to its projects in historic districts, however, based on stakeholder interest, the HPC believes a courtesy consultation is appropriate for this project. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Historic Preservation Commission, after due consideration, expresses its opposition to the construction of the McDowell-Montesano traffic circle, finding that the project is inconsistent with the historic traffic patterns in Somerville Historic District, and that said project should be abandoned by the city, adopted this 18th day of December 2025. So that's my recommendation, that we give a voluntary consultation to the City Commission that we disapprove of this traffic circle in the neighborhood. And I think we have someone from the neighborhood who wanted to speak.
Gentlemen, I looked at the study. The study was passed in 2021. It's part of the TIA project. And that was voted on by the public, and it's out there and concerned. And I have spoken with several folks in the Somerville area, and even with people on the Somerville board. And their only concern is Central and Montesano. They do not feel that it is necessary to have the traffic circle at McDowell and Montesano. The study that Bob made reference to, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Young, that it basically had traffic circles all the way up through Montesano Avenue, all the way from Central, all the way to Walton Way. Right. And there's no need for that, in my opinion. But I'm just one vote on this commission. And I have checked with several folks that we can ask the city to drop this project. It can be dropped and not processed, even though it is part of the TIA project. So it can be deleted at this time. So my thought process is I concur, and I'd like to, I can't, but I concur with Mr. Young's motion and resolution. Commissioners, y'all have other comments or statements you'd like to make about this, either for or deny or what it, please address.
I feel that we should go with the denial of what they're planning.
I have a motion that we adopt a resolution of denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second on that operation. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous vote.
Resolution is passed. Go ahead with the.
That brings me up to the second item, which is a much broader in scope. And I think when we go back to the responsibilities of the Historic Preservation Commission, and these are on the website, to review applications for certificates of appropriateness involving a change in the exterior architectural or environmental features of a designated historic property or a property located in a designated historic district. So, but our charge is very limited. It's not a broad charge at all to look into these historic districts and the activities in the historic districts, because we're pretty much confined to private property issues with homes and businesses, and government can come in and do anything they want to do. I think the intention of what I'm about to present to you is to foster an open dialogue with city departments and other government entities and non-government organizations in the city in the historic districts, to foster sensitivity to the historic character of those districts and support the city's commitment to historic preservation. This will be accomplished through mandatory consultation of undertakings with the HPC, the affected agencies, and community stakeholders. Consultation, while required, will not serve as a veto of applicable projects. It will be an important source of input for preservation considerations. Consultation will result in recommendations to the City Commission and relevant organizations and NGOs, with respect to the relevance of the project as it contributes to the preservation objectives outlined by the city in its historic preservation ordinance. Consultation will be mandated through an amendment to the city code under the responsibilities of the HPC as the official representative of the city commission. The specific rules and guidance for the consultation process would be established by the HPC. Now, for me, the need for consultation is obvious. The HPC is shut out from public projects underway in the historic districts. Our COA is limited. For example, we focus on private property, but should we not also have a say in public projects? Should we not have input, even informally, on matters like Broad Street reconstruction, the new James Brown Arena, or whatever they want to call it, even how the Freedom Bridge has been designed, or even these art objects that are placed on city rights-of-way around downtown? I suggest that for the HPC to be more effective, its voice should be heard on all issues, not just a select few. Mandatory consultation is a way to do that. Consultation will bring to the discussion ideas and matters that perhaps have not been considered, but bear on the character of our historic districts. Consultation is not envisioned to be a roadblock or even a speed bump in the development process, but merely another set of eyes from a different perspective. So today, I'm asking the HPC to approve that our legal counsel draft an appropriate amendment to the city code to provide for HPC consultation on all projects in the historic districts that are engaged in by the city and by agencies and NGOs that receive city funds or have undertakings on city property. Further, that the HPC at its next meeting review these changes and then take a final vote whether we want to forward them to the City Commission for adoption. Now, I have experience with this consultation process while serving on the Advisory Council for Historic Preservation at the federal level, and it's required by the National Historic Preservation Act. Section 106 requires consultation with federal agencies or agencies that are using federal funds. There has to be that historic review. In fact, we just heard that about the zip line and the consultation between the State Historic Preservation Office and the Corps of Engineers, and we were asked to provide a letter in that matter. So what we're trying to do here is have the same consultation and to put it into the ordinance that governs historic preservation in Augusta, so that the city will take it seriously, that the agencies that are funded by the city will take it seriously, and agencies that do activities on city property will take it seriously. And I would envision most of this consultation would be done at the staff level, and probably fewer than 5% of it would ever end up in front of us. But I think that just reinforces the city's commitment to historic preservation and really brings us full circle to the full scope of what we should be doing as a Historic Preservation Commission representing the city's interests. So again, my request today would be that we ask the attorney to draw the appropriate amendment to the City Historic Preservation Ordinance that would include consultation with city departments and other organizations and agencies using city money and conducting activities on city property, and then bring that back to us at the next meeting for action.
Council, do you have a comment you'd like to make at this time?
No comment at this time. I was just trying to figure out the best approach to this, whether to bring it to the commission to see if there's an appetite first, or draft the ordinance resolution or the amendment and then present that on a committee cycle. We can have that done. I don't know if we'll have it done by the January meeting. I'm not sure what the January meeting date is. We'll make every effort to have it done by January, and if not, we could have it presented to you by February.
February's fine.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how the other folks up here feel. But
Commissioners, y'all have any comments? Speaking to the mic.
I have no disagreements with your request. I think it'd be nice to have that. Just people use this as a resource.
Yeah.
I agree with it all. I just wondered, you've probably done this already, but did you consult the Preservation Act to see if that is within our realm, what we can do? Because when they lay out the guidelines for historic preservation commissions, you can't add something in that's not already approved. You can take stuff away. That's my only concern.
Well, that's why we're asking for an amendment to the ordinance they created.
I know,
This
but
body,
just in
so.
general, like any county that has a state historic preservation commission, we could lose our standing with the state and national level if we do something that's not ordained, if you will.
I understand, and that's why we have some of the finest legal minds
Yeah.
that are available to guide us through this
easily-
process.
Easily answered. It shouldn't be too hard to find out.
But, you know, if the state can have consultation and the federal government have consultation, why can't the city have consultation? So
Again,
that's what
I
we're
agree with
saying.
you
You know,
wholeheartedly. I
that's,
think it's a great idea.
that's what we're saying.
That's my only concern, is it something that we can do,
So-
staying within guidelines
Yeah.
of the National Historic Preservation Act.
So at this point, do we have a unanimous consent to send this to council for him to draft the letter? Have any objections of this particular motion? All right, hearing none, council, we'll hear from you in February.
I'll be glad to work with you on it too.
So elegantly.
All right.
Thank y'all, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, done a lot of work on that, Bob. All right, list of staff approvals, any from September to October, that's another item. Is there any questions from the commission about those staff approvals?
No.
All right, hearing none. Any objections? All right. All right, discuss the previous HPC approval, COA, and statuses. Now, these are something that we have spoken about before concerning COAs that we have approved, and we're asking for a report from planning office to give us the status of the ones we have approved and where they are. Were they completed? Are they still open? Are they haven't done anything? What? You know, it's sort of like the, you know, Sky City building, the Marion building, 802 Green Street, you know, where are we? So go ahead, Todd.
Yeah. What I wanted to do in response to the discussion we had earlier this afternoon or earlier today, Chair Barbie, I put together a list and I mimicked it from one of the other lists that we have. And I just want to kind of just show you what I've started. And I decided to use the one that was talked about just last month. We went into this discussion on that one, 802 Green Street. And I have its corresponding COA number right here, the date that it was issued by HPC, the permit number that fell into, and what its current status is. So I decided to just extrapolate the information I was able to find. I just want to show you or just ask, you know, so far what you see right here in front of you, is that kind of a good start? And then just continue on with the
Well,
ones?
it's a good start. It's issued, but status issued, but what does that mean? Do they have a permit? Have they pulled a permit? Where are we? I mean, you know, if they don't pull a permit within 6 months, the COA is dead.
This case, what I can do is amend it because I have the case, the COA number, the address, and the date that was issued, and then maybe separate it with this table right here and show the permit number when that was applied for. You know, when it was first applied, so that way that's the, you know, the trigger.
That's correct.
6 month.
Right.
And then we could say, okay, it's been issued. And I think in this case, it was issued back in October. I have to go look at my email correspondence that I've had with the applicant.
Okay.
So, but I just want to show you, this is what I have started thus far. And what I was going to do is add to it with previous COAs that have gone through the process. I know this one's generated a lot of discussion, and that's why I wanted to use it as a sample.
Right. Well, as I said, we've had a good meeting on Broad Street and other areas that we have approved. And I think one of the commissioners have one that's going on at this time, and they're actually working on it. The Marion building, not working. So all I'm saying, we just need a report. I think this is fine, but we need to know if you permit it, we need to know the date and where we stand within the process. And if the COA was passed, completed. That's it. We do need to know that so we can keep record of it, because there's 6 months. Every 6 months, it's going to change.
Yeah. And my plan is, because I know we're coming up on the Christmas holidays, and as you said, we had a lot of COAs come through. What I was going to do is go over the course between now and next meeting is maybe send this out to you as like a memo type format. Just saying, hey, this is what I've got so far. And, from previous COAs during this time, here's where they are. Here's the permit number. And then here's the date the permit was applied for.
Okay, I would recommend that report come out prior to our meeting, so if we have any questions, we can add it to the agenda.
Understood. Yes, sir.
Neil Leon?
Todd, also on your list, can you bring back the status of the Partridge Inn?
Yeah, I can see what I can find out for you on that one.
Because they've demolished the building that we approved them to do, but it hasn't been any further action on that property, which is supposed to be.
Yeah,
it's gone.
The Sizemore board building was tore down. He was supposed to turn to convert parking lot, but nothing's been done.
They're parking there.
Yeah,
I know it's a parking lot, but people are parking there.
Well, no, I know I know they parking there, but that's not the design he brought to us. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And Todd, we may have to go and visit some of them that we actually know about, and we'll go find them, and then we can look them up and get them. Okay?
Good. Yes, sir.
Okay. Schedule for meetings of 2026.
By the way, Chair Barbie, if
Yes,
I may, do we want to maybe discuss a little bit? I think we might have went over an item B, discussion of metal roofs.
Oh.
Do we want to maybe talk a little bit about that?
Right.
I have a little bit of information to share.
You do, okay.
Hopefully, it's something that we can talk. It kind of relates to one of the items I was going to be on tonight's meeting, but then it determined that it was a staff approval based on findings in the field. Okay, this right here is in response to the motion that was passed by the commission last month. This is a sample that we've been using for standing seams that we've been handing off to applicants, because we figured this is a good depiction of what we're looking for when metal roofs are being replaced, or re-roofs are being done, metal to metal, something like that. Kind of said the same thing. So I want to start off with this depiction that you see before you. Now, this was number 71. That's on your agenda, but as you can see, it's been deemed a staff approval. When I was out in the field, I confirmed it with the applicant at the firehouse. Here is the new roof. They did get a permit. However, though, there was just, either communication or something like that. Planning staff wasn't informed of it, so we didn't find out till after the fact, till we went out and inspected. At first, we were thinking, okay, when you need a new roof, you need to come in and see us, get you on the agenda. Went out and did a field inspection. After discussion internally, this was deemed to be staff approved. And it's metal with a standing seam. I tried to get as close as I could to take a picture, but excuse me. Had a few photos in there, but I just want to kind of show you more of a close-up here. And it looks like it was like for like material from what we can tell. So that's why we made the determination as we did. Now,
Todd, I went crazy trying to find 1153 Broad Street.
1147 Broad, and then 11, I had to kind of determine, I was like, which one is it, so, and I called them up from the field and they were able to point it out for me, so. Now, this picture here, these are just some pictures of slate roof, and it kind of relates to the previous item tonight that was heard over on Montesano. We have just some samples I just want to show, and definitely I'm asking for feedback if I'm on the right track. I'm just trying to take this and run with it almost. So anyway, that's why I want to check in with the commission, make sure, stay on the right track. We have some slate roof here in this material, and then we have a picture here that shows slate versus tile. And I just want to show you so far, is this, any change of direction I should do at this point, or what do y'all think so far based on last month's motion?
All right, my question is this real slate or is this an imitation slate?
From what I could tell from the picture and what I'm able to tell from the internet, this appears to be real, but I'm going to say this one right here appears to be more of a imitation, I would say.
Okay. What about the terracotta?
This tile right here?
Yep.
I'll have to do some more research, but I just want to kind of just show some visuals.
But the thing of what we're looking for is there's new materials out on the market that was brought forth tonight that is beautiful renditions of a slate roof and a terracotta tile roof. And we need to be investigating that and bringing back to us so we can discuss these items to change guidelines possibly within Somerville. The Somerville guidelines hadn't been written since 1994. I mean, they need to be updated. And these materials has come out and it needs to be updated. The only change that I know, well, I'm rambling here, but bottom line, we changed about the wooden windows to where we can use wooden, aluminum clad. We've also gone to the using hardy plank versus replacing everything with wood. We've allowed hardy plank so as a replacement. So now we're in the position to, what do we do with the roof? Instead of having just asphalt shingles, how do we get back, just like the lady here, how do we handle the problem? Or give her an alternative? And at this point, we don't know. Or I don't know. I don't know about the rest.
And there are some good slate alternatives, like Da Vinci makes one, Brava, Certainty, and they're synthetic slate, and contrary to what we heard tonight, they are significantly cheaper than slate. So that might be something we could use in the future to make a good compromise.
So I'm hearing for the next meeting, do you want sort of like a listing of these alternative type roofing materials so that you could kind of, and then we could probably provide little samples or something like that?
I think that I just mentioned 3. I think that'd be helpful to have a few examples that look good. Of course, we could see them for ourselves and make sure that that's in line with what we have in mind.
Sure.
But Brava, Certainty, Da Vinci, the ones I've seen from them look pretty decent.
Okay.
And then at the end of the day, we need to let the public know that these are acceptable to us. So
that's correct.
So they don't feel hemmed in.
It's a scary, slate roof is a scary thing to replace.
Now, do these, maybe this for the attorney, would these items, if they are approved with us, would they, I guess, Old Town, Somerville, all the guidelines, would these have to be ran by them for approval? Can we approve if we like it and these are suitable, I guess, substitutes?
Leon, we can consult with them. I've already spoken to Somerville, and they're wanting to update the guidelines.
Okay.
And they're asking us to. They want to ask me to send them a letter directing them to consult with us about changing the guidelines.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know about Old Town. I don't know, and I'm not sure about downtown in some cases. And okay.
Sure.
All right.
And I think the next item on the agenda
is the meetings.
Yeah, meeting dates. That was included in your packets. And I believe Planning Services Director Kevin Boyd, I believe he made a change to the submittal date, made it kind of a little sooner. So that way, more time to review, more time to process cases and all that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, on that.
So what essentially we did is just add an additional week for us to be able to, because HPC has the shortest turnaround, and it's very difficult for us to assemble the information, do all the noticing requirements and postings, and you're getting your staff report packets 2 days, 3 days best before the meeting, and it's sort of unacceptable. You need time to be able to visit the properties and whatnot. And poor Todd, he's still new. He's still got that new shine and everything. So it's been, a bit on him. So extending that time frame to match some of our other boards would benefit us in providing the necessary service, and giving you a quality product.
Can I ask, and this is topic. You've got what, a 5% budget cut next year?
Ooh, I think it is 5%.
Okay. Is
Just
that
close? If it isn't, it's really close to it.
okay? But my question is, do we know if that's going to impact the service we get in a supporting role from planning, from the planning office and Todd's availability and whatnot? Do we know if there'll be any adjustments there?
I think it'll be largely unchanged. It's going to hit things like our training budget, our supply budget, software updates, new phone gadgets, and that sort of thing. But for the most part, we have to maintain a healthy budget for postings and notifications, and the trainings are a tough thing. And I know we talked about trainings for the commission as well, but we could be creative in that sense. But for the most part, for the operations, remain unchanged.
Any other comments? All right, so the status of the schedule, any objections to the schedule, the meeting schedule?
It looked good, Mr. Director.
No, we're not giving you a raise, Leon.
Look good.
They do.
2026. It looked good.
All right. Commission elections.
That, Kevin, to correct me if I'm wrong, is that where the chair and the vice chair are appointed for the next year or so on the HPC?
That's correct.
All right.
I think we usually start with the vice chair nominating.
Start with the vice. I have nominations for vice chair. Leon Mayburn is our vice chair. As my understanding, the rules state that we can hold a position for 2 years. After that, it has to be changed. Leon is in his first year. Do I have any motions to, anyone want to run for the spot? I don't see anybody volunteer, Leon, so it looks like you unanimously picked for the vice chair.
Congratulations, Leon.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't give me a chance to nominate anybody.
No. Now we're in the situation, I guess, all right, Leanne, take over because I can't run a meeting with the chair.
We are now taking nominations for chair.
Boy.
Any recommendation?
Can you get a second on that?
Oh,
can you get a
can I get a
second on that
second?
nomination?
Can I get a second on the nomination of chair? Chair by Dave Barbie.
Move we elect Mr. Barbie by acclamation.
Thank you, gentlemen. I expect my check in the mail. All right.
Thank you for short.
By the way,
all right, any legal?
I just wanted to included another thing in your packet, and I just wanted to do just to celebrate and commemorate just to acknowledge the passing of our of Brian Kepner, our zoning administrator, and just want y'all to know about his legacy and all. I mean, I wasn't sure if at the beginning of the meeting if we should have had a moment of silence. I'm not sure. Maybe we can still do that, but I just wanted to include that in your packet.
Thank you. Do we have any counsel? Do we have any legal matters, real estate, personnel, or litigation that we need to discuss?
Nothing at this time.
All right.
I feel we will though after.
All right.
Couple months.
Hey, we don't have to have any objections to adjourning. Hearing none, we're adjourned.